All right, today is the first day of the rest of your year. It's July 1st. It's the Automotive State of the Union. I'm Paul J. Daly. It's Kyle Mountsier. Today we're talking about EV tax credits, rare earth workarounds, and small business getting scammed out of their minds. Talking about some new ones today.
That's right. That's a whole thing. That's actually super relevant. I would say that the third story is probably the most relevant. A third story has been to retail auto businesses in a very long time on this
but
show.
There's a hyper relevant part of all the stories and this day and the first day of the rest of the year. And it's the fact that it is Kyle Mountsier's birthday today.
Whoa, I'm a slightly older man.
Raining money.
Raining money. Come on.
They show that you never thought it'd be like this. Right?
Just raining money. I love it.
Happy birthday. What is it? 29?
Yeah,
30?
something like that. 38, I think, is what it is. I think we'll call it that. Yeah.
Oh, it's the countdown to 40. I mean,
I know. It's the back half of the 30s. You know, it's all good.
This morning I saw a promo for the band Switchfoot, who is like one of my favorite all-time bands. They got like a little Switchfoot album back here. And they're playing at this, you know, like nice casino venue down here. But it's like the two people in the car, like the lead singer and the drummer is like, Switchfoot here. We hope you join. You know, it's obviously a promo that was worked into the deal. Like you have to make a promo video. And my only thought was this. Man, you're getting old.
Man, you're getting old.
Which means, man, I'm getting old.
Man, Switchfoot. So I can't even believe they're still like touring, doing the thing. That's pretty wild to me.
They were one of the first bands to like truly go independent and like kind of break the mold there before it was cool.
Right.
They built a studio. They recorded their own album. It's like, you know.
I love the one of the things that I love about my birthday and my half birthday is it's a marker, right?
It's a half birthday.
It's like, you know, halfway through the year. So I get July 1st and January 1st, you know?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Canadians celebrate their Independence Day on my birthday, not the other way around. And the whole world celebrates the start of the year on my birthday. It's really my half birthday. It's really nice of them.
It is. Wow. I didn't realize half birthday. I don't know. Is that a millennial
Nobody
thing?
pays attention to that unless
I was going to say, is that a millennial thing I'm not aware of?
Birthday is on the start of the year. That's the only reason why you get excited about it when you're a kid, you know?
I bet you want your half birthday off too, just like you want your birthday off.
None of that. I'm not good at the whole birthday off thing.
I'm not either.
I took it off last year, but not this year.
I know. It just is screaming on by. Well, we're glad you're older.
Here we go.
We're glad you're here. Listen, we have an ASOTU Edge webinar coming up next week, next Wednesday, July 9th. Smart Customer Transportation Management with Stephen Chapman of Uber for Business. We get to unpack how you can better your customer experience, save some money, and build some more resiliency and consistency into getting people where they need to be, which is the best place. When people are at the service department, most times they don't want to be there. They want to be somewhere else.
Yeah. And there's a little Easter egg talking about food that you're not going to want to miss in that one.
Oh, we'll make sure we talk about the food.
Yeah.
Always talk about the food. All right, let's talk about some news. Congress is fast-tracking the elimination of federal EV tax credits, creating waves across the auto retail and manufacturing sectors. A new Senate bill proposes the ending both new and used EV credits by September 30th. Whoa. We're almost there, by the way. The Senate plan accelerates the credit phase-out, bypassing both House and prior Senate timelines. Lucid CEO warns the change would make it very difficult for new players in the market. I don't think any of their cars qualify anyway. The bill also ends penalties for CAFE standards, noncompliance, easing burdens on legacy automakers. Dealers are concerned, though, roughly 140,000 EVs are currently sitting on dealer lots, just hoping someone executes that credit on them. NADA said, quote, if EV tax credits are going to be repealed, NADA urges Congress to include a reasonable transition period. They're saying too fast.
Yeah, I think the real trigger here to me is September 30th. That's 90 days away. Most manufacturers have over 100-day supply on new EVs.
Yep.
And that's just what's on ground, not counting all of the in-transit inventory that's probably already been made. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at this, could it accelerate the adoption of those vehicles, pull people forward into the market? Yes. Mm-hmm. But all that manufacturing that's still going to happen for the second half of the year, that's already pre-planned. It's very, very hard to roll back on those plans for an OEM like that. Man, that could get real dicey, especially for OEMs that have become dependent on that for sales pace.
I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to think of, like, from a process standpoint. This is a bill that's introduced. They can vote on it. they can introduce another bill.
Yep.
You know, the Elon Trump spat that's continuing, that's not helping this.
It's not helping at all.
It's like, okay, fine. Watch this. We'll get it done faster. Yeah, they're going back and forth.
Yeah, I agree. Like, reasonable. Can we be reasonable? We've been arguing for reasonable transitions, reasonable play, reasonable.
Talking about politics, Kyle.
It can't be reasonable.
Reasonable. It's like I don't know. We just get to make this show, though.
We just said what we said.
Speaking of
stop. Segue.
Time. I'm not even going to say anything. It just hit stop. China's latest export restrictions have flipped the rare earths market on its head, sending automakers scrambling for alternatives and giving non-China suppliers the spotlight. Excuse me. After Beijing tightened exports of key magnet materials in April, Western buyers are now urgently seeking non-Chinese supply chains. Neo Performance Materials in Estonia has been surging at demand at a $10 to $30 a kilogram premium for non-China magnets.
Wow.
Korean and European firms also investing in alternative sources, even paying 15 to 30% more to ensure supply. Industry insiders are warning that premiums too high could kill demand. Too low, new suppliers can't survive. Customers, here's a quote from Neo CEO Rahim Suleiman. Customers understand there's a premium, but if the premium gets too big, we're looking at demand destruction.
This is the definition of a convergence of issues when it comes to having EVs that are available at a price point that makes sense to have enough demand to carry like the demand bridge that we have from early adopters to the next wave of adopters. And you throw on the first story of potentially not having these EV tax credits, and then these rare earth materials and key magnet materials that are necessary for all of this EV production being tightened down in China, be raising prices in the rest of the world because they know that they now have a high demand, low supply entity. Like it could get really weird out there. And then, you know, we were at the thing last week with Steve Greenfield.
Yeah, he said what it is. We can say what it is. It was a consortium. We were with 75 other kind of global experts in China and the supply chains and all that stuff. So we talked a little bit about
then tightening everything down, restricting, going super vertical,
owning the vertical, literally
owning the vertical, and not just that, but China is basically like creating this base layer of componentry that every manufacturer is using. So now that's how they're driving down costs. So you see China continuing to drive down costs, removing people from being able to have access to that. The rest of the world raising prices on these rare earth materials, and the US removing EV tax credits. Can I say screeching halt?
Getting crazy out here. In the article, it does say that the average vehicle uses 2 to 4 kilograms of this material to make themselves or to be created. So $10 to $30 per kilogram premium. You know, you could be looking at adding between $100 and $200 per cost. That's just in raw materials, right? And then all that gets baked up. So definitely starts adding up. The big consideration that was being talked about at this closed door meeting was the dominance of electrification in general and the platform and electricity generation. So there's so many dynamics to this issue. It's not just about the vehicles getting on the lots or being made at a reasonable price or tax incentives. It's about literally the mass transition from oil to electricity and controlling all the things you need to have an electricity powered society, I guess. And China moving towards energy independence as best they can through electrification because they can control it. It's complicated. We'll have some more to talk about on this, but in the end, like how does this boil down to the front line? Consumers are hearing stuff, this and that. It's still going to come down to you being able to explain the benefits of an electric vehicle and the drivetrain, making sure it's a good fit for the consumer's lives. And at that point, the sale of the vehicle should like go out.
You know, actually,
what it is.
This is what's interesting. When we talked to, there was a gentleman that was very aware of the Chinese market and why people are buying these cars. The majority are buying because of the drive style and the technology inside of them. It's not for the electrification. It's not an earth conscious thing. It's like, know the technology and
love the way it drives
and love the way it drives. So I think getting people in these cars, creating experiential events that allows someone to drive it, like actually put their foot on the accelerator and feel how that thing takes off, touch and feel the technology, doing like tech days at the store so people can understand what they're buying. Because it's not just about like going green with electrification. It's actually about the technology in the car. And I think that as a pivot for dealers will allow people to be more attracted to an EV than just because it's electric and they can save costs, right?
Yeah,
it's more about
so
buying the
much
technology instead of saving the money on the gas.
There's so much experience to be had in just walking people through it. I think there's still a ton of curiosity around it. It's a great excuse to get people in the store. Let them know you know what you're talking about. Let them know you're a great place to do business. It's a good thing. And probably I don't know what's going to happen in another week or so. We're going to have, if you were at ASOTU 2 years ago, you remember John Sacco. He produces this docuseries called Repurposed. He's a metals recycler, and season 3 is launching. They did a ton of stuff with Toyota. We're going to have him on the show. And I did look it up. Magnets are definitely recyclable. So we're definitely going to have a few questions for him on this. If it's like, he may just be the most important man in this whole discussion.
Whoa.
Wouldn't that be funny? Oh, speaking of whoa.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Small businesses can't.
Here we go.
Catch a break with AI.
So there's an alarming new wave of fraud hitting small businesses fueled by generative AI. With tools like ChatGPT and deepfake video tech, scammers can now clone entire brands, replicate storefronts, and impersonate real people, all with little to no technical skill. One scam targeted knife seller Oisha with a fake giveaway campaign, sending fraudulent offers to 10,000 Instagram followers and duping nearly 100 customers out of just shipping fees. Here's your free thing. Give us the shipping fees. No thing on the other side. A recruiter shared how applicants now use AI avatars to cheat video calls, forcing her to ask for ID and personal questions to confirm they're real. In another case, an engineering firm lost $25 million after an employee was tricked by an AI-generated video replica of his coworker,
this is
including
crazy.
The CFO.
Oh my gosh, that
$25 million.
insane.
I think that was
let's paint that for a second.
Yeah.
You get on a call. You're responsible for approving this and that. And your coworkers are there. The CFO is there. The other people you're jamming with. And they're like, they get on the car. We're like, all right, today we're just talking about some transfers we need to have done, right? Yes. What's it for? Next person flips. They say what it's for, blah, blah, blah. When can we get these done? Okay. You're going to be like, oh, we can get these done by this. Okay, great. Execute. You get off the call. $25 million goes away. And the CFO is like, what is this? And you get a call.
Yep.
That is mind boggling.
It's unbelievable.
I think we need some like passwords, safe words, right? Okay, what is your memorable word? Aardvark, right?
That's not a bad plan. I think that like IT departments and business owners should be thinking about how do, especially in high risk environments, things where transactions or money is being exchanged, that you increase the security protocols in your organization. You look at like we've always known about driver's licenses, titles, but that stuff is getting so much easier to deepfake. Like just getting a photo of someone's driver's license is no longer good enough.
Not even close. You can fake that all day long. Yeah. Not only that, but the fakes when it comes to just voice cloning was one of the ones they mentioned, right? Faking a bank out, voice cloning it, speaking to a bank. The article did highlight that some companies are adopting some form of biometric authentication tools. Voice used to be one of those. Yeah. Remember, like all these sophisticated systems. Now we know it's your voice. You can go through. That's over with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, this actually boils down quite a bit. Even to family safety and security. We've heard stories of people getting calls from police or fire emergency workers saying like, hey, here's the situation. Your loved one got in an accident. We need you to do this. What's their health insurance information? We need to, right? And they dupe them into all types of stuff. So I think if you're family, you also need a code word.
Yeah.
Right? Because my kids could get a call from me, and if they feel like something's fishy, they should be like, what's the word? And I'm going to be like, Farfignugan.
That's your word. Okay.
I don't know what the word is, but I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah. I think this is actually an argument for the move back to retail. Like getting people in person is such a critical part of what we do. And if we can create those experiential moments where people want to be a part of it, they'll feel more attracted to it, because we will be like more and more consumers will be concerned with their own online interaction. So they will be excited about going to a place that has an experiential piece to it. That will be the new, like the new thing. No longer will online be so exciting because it will be so disparate and so like, it'll be so hard to understand whether or not you're dealing with real, that the only thing that will be real is doing things in person. So I think the race back to retail is going to be pretty hefty.
I do. I think blockchain is going to play a role in this whole figuring out who's who, what's what. Anyway, I mean, maybe they could just ask us who our favorite child is, which of course would change daily, day to day. So get out there, get a password, take care of one another. We'll see you here tomorrow.